News, sport and podcasts for the MA broadcast students at Cardiff University. This is CJS News.
It's 4 o'clock. You're listening to CJS News with Charlotte Wright and Twyla Morris.
People in Wales have been warned to stay away from hospitals as junior doctors will walk out from tomorrow until Saturday. Menon Williams, who's a fifth-year medical student, says that they're not just striking over pay. She says that a combination of difficult working conditions and a lack of pay increase means that she would consider leaving Wales.
When you hear about these horror stories on the wards of what junior doctors are going through, the pay not equated into the responsibilities we have, it's definitely something I'd consider. Wales at the moment are only being given a 5% increase in pay rise, which is the worst out of all countries in the UK.
There's been an increase of mould and damp in private rental properties across Cardiff. That's according to a housing association who says the unseasonal warm and wet weather is to blame. Our reporter George Simons has been talking to some of those affected.
The weather being so bad and the rain being just ridiculous, I've had to keep all my windows closed, so the damp in my room has gotten so horrendous.
That's Emma Hawkins. She rents a flat in Canton and is having to clean her walls every day to keep the mould from spreading through the property. She says it's affecting her health.
It caused me to have a chest infection back in December time, which just made everything so much worse, and I just don't know what I can do.
According to NHS Wales, damp and mould can weaken the immune system, causing respiratory issues such as asthma. And the Housing Association TPAS says they're hearing more and more from renters in Cardiff who are facing the same problem. David Wilton from the association says it's a serious issue and the weather conditions this year are making it worse.
So no, this continuing climate change of warm, damp, warmer winters with much more rain is going to create a lot more moisture, delivers more damp and mould due to something called dew point. It's to do with moisture in the air, and if you've got a colder house, it creates more damp and mould from the natural moisture in your home.
Zoe Price rents a house in Grangetown. She says she's been complaining to her landlord for months now.
I'm really worried about the damp in my flat. Because it's been raining so hard this year, I've been shutting the windows a lot, and so there isn't any fresh air in my room, so it's growing really mouldy.
The advice from TPAS is to get in touch with your landlord immediately if you have a problem. But if that fails, you should contact your letting agency. And as a last resort, the Environmental Department of Cardiff Council can enforce your landlord to repair any damage.
The 64-year-old man who died in Butetown on Sunday has been named as Ibrahim Lassine. The family of the father of 11 have described him as a pillar of his community. A 38-year-old man has been arrested on suspicion of murder.
2 men from Caerphilly have been charged in connection with moving hundreds of illegal migrants through Europe. Dilshad Shamo and Ali Kadir are accused of operating a people smuggling ring following an investigation by the National Crime Agency. They appeared at Newport Magistrates Court this morning and have been remanded in custody.
People in Cardiff say there's confusion around the new recycling scheme launched today. More than 36,000 properties over 10 areas across the city will be required to use different recycling bags. Mary Ledger from Llandaff says that she understands the value of change, but feels this is a time-consuming task.
The negative thing is the time that it will take, which is it's precious to so many people these days. The positive is, I think it's a good thing that Cardiff are bringing in this to make people think about it, whereas before it was all rather thrown in together.
Our reporter Caitlin O'Callaghan has more on this story. So Caitlin, what are these changes?
Well, Twyla, it means that people living in the area will need to change the way they recycle. They will have 2 new recycling bags and a caddy. The blue caddy will be for glass, bottles, jars, the red sack for metals, plastics, food and drink cartons, whilst the blue sack will be for cardboard and paper. This will replace the standard bags that locals will be used to. A further change to this is how often these bags are collected. Red and blue sacks will be collected every week and blue caddies will be collected every 2 weeks.
So who will be affected by this?
There will be 10 areas across Cardiff which will now come under these changes. These include Ely, Gabalfa, Grangetown, Heath West, Llandaff, Pentwyn, Penturk, Rubina, Splot and Trowbridge. But this scheme will not apply to those living in blocks of flats with communal bins within those areas.
And if anyone's confused over this issue, what should they do?
Anyone who is unsure about these changes can go online to Cardiff Council website and contact them.
Thanks, Caitlin.
Body Shop's administrators have announced that nearly half of the chain's stores are to close, with 7 of them shutting today. The cosmetics retailer, which has 198 UK branches, appointed insolvency experts last week. They say a restructuring plan will include a reduced store footprint and more focus on products and online sales.
A teenager from Cardiff has joined more than 8,000 people in a campaign calling for better access to more advanced blood sugar monitors. It comes after Diabetes UK says more work needs to be done to make monitors more accessible in Wales. Maya Gascoigne, who has type 1 diabetes, says that while she's been able to access the latest monitors, it is disheartening that her father hasn't yet been able to.
And I think why I'm shocked more than anyone, especially for someone who doesn't loop and who, is blessed with the access of Omnipod 5, is just how much people are so willing to do this themselves. And if I'm being honest, if that isn't a big enough wake-up call for the FDA to make these improvements and to make people's lives better, faster, quicker, and to get this technology out.
Our reporter Claire Nagina is in the studio with us. What is the current situation in Wales for people living with diabetes?
Well, currently there are over 200,000 people who live with diabetes in Wales. That's equivalent to 1 in 13 people. And this is the highest level of prevalence in any of the UK nations. Now, over the last 20 years, there's been a rapid increase in the diagnosis of diabetes, and this is due to a growing increase in a rare type of type 2 diabetes.
So what's the campaign asking for?
This particular campaign is asking for fairer, quicker and much more easier access to diabetes technology. Currently, there are different types of technologies that are out there, like insulin pumps and what's known as CGM, but these are only accessible if you meet the eligibility criteria. Currently, there's a new system being rolled out, which is known as a hybrid closed-loop technology. Now, this is a computerized system which is completely life-changing for those who have type 1 diabetes. And what this acts like is it's almost like an artificial pancreas, and that helps to link the insulin pumps and the blood glucose monitors in a computer algorithm, which means that you don't have to actually manually do those checks yourself.
I would encourage to fight for this technology because it's those technologies, these Dexcoms, these Libras, these Omnipods are going to make our lives so much easier. And I think by coming together and really supporting that technology and helping it come out faster, we ourselves are going to come out on the other side as better and stronger people.
What's been the response from the Senedd?
They are recognising the need for more equitable access to diabetes technology, and they've said that they said in a statement earlier that this will be achieved by making use of national leadership, coordination, and procurement through the NHS, and so they're really working with organisations like Diabetes UK and the NHS to roll out this new technology much quicker and make it more accessible across Wales.
Thanks, Claire.
Some people in Bridgend County are having to pay for their rubbish to be taken away because their bin collections have been cancelled. This comes as the local waste collection company cancelled some of its routes last week. Independent councillor Ian Williams says people have limited choices.
There is no alternative unless you want to pay privately to get someone collect your rubbish. You've just got to bite the bullet until they sort it out. It's unbelievable. Unbelievable.
Bridgend County Borough Council say that any recycling missed can be picked up curbside and state that the county is one of the best in Wales for waste targets.
Businesses in Barry are worried that new changes to use toilets will damage businesses. Vale of Glamorgan Council have proposed plans for people to pay to use public restrooms in an attempt to bridge a £7 million budget gap. It is believed that this could save the council £5,000 in 2024. Glenn Griffiths, who owns a cafe in Barry, says the charge will cause more people to use his toilets.
It can only be a bad thing. During the summer months, we're already stretched with public trying to use the toilets on the cafe premises, and this is only going to add to it and cause some more problems.
A former professional darts player from Newport has turned to TikTok to improve his mental health. Neil Pattinson has a channel with his son where they complete darts challenges and have made videos with Welsh players Johnny Clayton and Gerwyn Price. He says that playing the sport boosts your well-being.
Because you're not face to face with people, you're under your own rules, and it does calm you down. Darts for mental health is absolutely fantastic. You know, for ADHD, kids that are a little bit hyper and you can't calm them down, if you get them into darts, they will stand there all day and throw dart after dart after dart.
In rugby, fly half Sam Costello will rejoin the Welsh Six Nations squad for their match against Ireland this weekend. This comes after he came off during a game against Scotland because of a neck injury. He'll replace Johan Lloyd. In other sport, Cardiff City will play Blackburn Rovers tonight at home. If City win, this will be their first at-home victory since December.
Now for the weather. There will be light rain throughout the afternoon and into the evening, with a light breeze coming in from the southwest. Temperatures will see highs of 12 degrees and lows of 10 degrees. That's all from us. Don't forget you can follow us on all our stories on Twitter, TikTok and Instagram. Find us at Broadcast CJS.
This is CJS News.